And welcome to Bits and Bytes, a little bit of everything gaming. I'm Trisha Hershberger, and it's time to admit that you're behind in your homework. And by homework, I mean all the games you meant to play but haven't gotten around to yet. It happens to all of us. I understand, but you can only put off having fun for so long. Eventually, you have to do it. There's no getting around it. On the plus side, waiting a bit usually results in those two beautiful words, price drop. So in case you missed them, here are 3 great games from the past year that you should make some time for ASAP. After years of toiling in the Killzone mines, Guerrilla Games was set free to make Horizon Zero Dawn. And what a glorious dawn it is. In a post-apocalyptic time, when humans have started to rebuild something resembling civilization in the wake of, well, something really, really bad, nobody's sure what, a young girl named Aloy is chosen to go out into the wilds. Her quest is to find answers to her origins, humanity's downfall, and to hunt giant robot T-Rexes like the consummate badass she is. Horizon is jaw-droppingly beautiful, plays like a dream, and is one of the best games so far in 2017, which is saying something.
No barrier can now stay you from your sacred task.
If you have a PS4, you should already have this. If you don't have a PS4, well...
Were you not listening?
This isn't a bad reason to think about changing that.
We're finished here.
Keep pushing, pilot. We're barely ahead.
Sandwiched between the releases of Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty last year, Titanfall 2 kind of got left in the dust by its 800-pound gorilla competition.
Are you all right, pilot?
But if you skipped out on Respawn's giant mech shooter, you missed one of the best FPS campaigns in a long time. It's inventive, explores the intriguing world that was only hinted at by the multiplayer-only first game, and features a couple of twists and turns that you won't see coming.
Got a job to do, eh?
On top of that, the multiplayer not only builds on the unique movement-based gameplay of the first game,
Make yourself a little more badass.
but new content is provided free of charge on a regular basis. Now that it's dropped in price, we suggest giving it a spin. Okay, we apologize for putting 2 PS4 exclusives in here, but so much stuff comes out on Sony's system that it's easy to miss a game like Yakuza Zero. The long-running Yakuza series is much beloved by its small but loyal fan base, but it's high time more people experience this charming, earnest, and often hilarious action RPG franchise. Brutal street fights mixed with local politics and Byzantine real estate schemes to create a game that feels written for an older audience than the usual JRPG. Yakuza Zero is a prequel to the rest of the series with a brand new engine and big upgrades over the previous games, so it's a perfect starting point for new players willing to delve into it. War! Huh! What is it good for? Well, it's actually a pretty good setting for video games, as it turns out. After all, conflict is the heart of drama. In any story, the protagonist must struggle against some kind of opposition and either overcome it or fail to do so. The simple stories older games told tended to thrive on the one-man army heroic tradition of two-fisted pulp war tales. Here are some of the classics that paved the way in Retro Blaster Games at War Edition. Contra takes its name from rebel Nicaraguan fighters who were prominent in the headlines at the time the game was released, which is a little weird considering Contra the game is about 2 muscle-bound white guys named Bill and Lance exploding the daylights out of an alien invasion. You shoot and leap your way through the evil alien-backed Red Falcon organization's defenses, mowing down endless soldiers and extraterrestrial monsters, preferably with the beloved spread gun. Contra is famously hard as hell due to Bill and Lance being one-hit wonders, which is how classic arcade games made you spend all your quarters before you realized it. You may not have heard of Cinemaware, but in the late 80s and early 90s, they were the king of games for the Atari Amiga computer. Wings was widely considered one of their best, and was one of the few World War I themed games of the era. It's a mix of various types of arcade flight styles, from behind-the-plane dogfights to Zaxxon-style diagonal scrolling to good old-fashioned top-down bombing runs. Cinemaware's usual attention to detail and gorgeous visuals. Hey, it was 1990, be nice. Made Wings a cult hit, so you may have played it somewhere other than the Amiga. It was ported to the Game Boy Advance in 2002, and a remastered version of the game was released for PC in 2014. We can't forget the granddaddy of all World War II first-person shooters. 1992's Wolfenstein 3D. Granted, it's not exactly a historically accurate retelling of the conflict, but it did influence pretty much every Nazi shooting game that came after it, and launched id Software into the spotlight. It's a genuine classic.
This is a rescue mission, so watch your fire!
1999's Medal of Honor for the first PlayStation helped usher in the era of World War II FPSs, and one of the most influential and important World War II shooters to follow in its wake was part of the same series. Medal of Honor Allied Assault debuted on the PC near the end of 2002, and while fellow EA release Battlefield 1942 beat it to the shelves by a few months, it was Allied Assault that would set the new standard for cinematic shooters.
Head for cover and get to the shingle. I'll see you on the beach.
The central set piece of the game was the D-Day sequence, sending the player onto Omaha Beach during the invasion of Normandy.
Get down!
Allied Assault was widely praised for putting the player in the boots of a soldier on the ground in a cinematic way that still felt believable and real.
Wait for my signal!
If you've ever thrilled to the explosive set pieces of a Call of Duty campaign, this is where that style of presentation and design really began.
Can one man truly make a difference?
Several key members of the team that made Allied Assault went on to become Infinity Ward, the team that made Call of Duty. Several key members of which went on to become Respawn Entertainment, the team that made Titanfall 2. See, we bring it all back around in the end. It's a perfect circle. Well, that's all the time we have for Bits and Bytes today. Let us know in the comments your picks for games nobody should skip and your favorite war games too. Until next time, remember, why take a bit when you can have a bite? It's raw, man. Get it?